Hey guys, it's me, Nate. I know I haven't been able to post in a really long time. I've just been really backed up with, I'm almost done my associate's degree in college. I have my 3D printing Etsy business. I also am coaching my FLL team. I'm a mentor of my FRC team still. And then also I am, just work. So just I've been really backed up. I do apologize about that and that I wasn't able to post earlier on the City Shaper game, but I figured better late than never, and I'll be able to give tips on the remainder of the season to help assist your team. So with that said, this video is more of an introduction. I'm going to be going over a couple tips in this video, but then my future videos are going to be things such as updates on how my FLL team is progressing. I coach the Technobox. So we're going to be posting some attachment updates. We're going to be posting some robot updates, possibly some code tutorials to help assist your team with sensors, and just some general advice that I've seen, throughout assisting with throughout coaching our team. Some of the things that have tripped some of our students up and that have taken them, that have made them, rethink some steps, and hopefully that'll assist your team in making sure that you are prepared for your first tournament coming up. So tournaments are getting ready to start. Ours is actually the first week of January. So we're trying to wrap things up with our robot by the first week of December. That way we have a solid month's worth of practice and tuning on the robot. That's our goal, at least. We're pretty close. Right now we're on schedule. So we're doing fairly well. So if you guys have any questions about future tutorials, such as if you need help with maybe a color sensor, or if you need help with a touch sensor or anything like that, or even tips with the game, or have any questions in general, just FLL related, even if it's project or anything like that, just post in the comments. I'll try my best to respond to the best of my knowledge. I've been involved in FLL for 11 years now, so I do have a background. I've been involved for quite a long time, and I should be able to answer those questions as best as I can. So with that said, this is the Technobox general robot that we're going to be using this year. Now, I'm just going to stop right here and say that this robot was very similar to last year. We actually, the students modified it slightly, made some adjustments with the axles and the wheels, made sure things were a little bit more sturdy, and just adjusted some of the weaknesses that we had last year in the competition season. So they really did work hard. It took a long time because of how compact this is and taking it apart and putting it back together. But the one thing I'm going to say is that although this is the robot in a sense, you'll realize what I mean by that in the next video. It's not quite this. There's some differences that we've never had before that we're going to be showing off in the next couple videos. So there's some really awesome things that we're going to be showing you. There's some new attachments and new approaches to missions that we've actually never had experience in that we did this season. Usually that's something we try to avoid as much as possible. We usually try to work with our strengths and what we have experience in. The students usually have experience in very simple attachments, and they try to rebuild very similar ones from previous years that work in different ways for the missions for this year. So this year we actually have two attachments that are completely different from anything that the team has ever done at any point. So we've seen them at World Championships before, but we've never quite done them ourselves. So it's been a fairly slow progress because the students are learning new things as they build these attachments, and they're finding out the flaws and how to modify them better and things like that. It's kind of like a new learning curve. So that's something that's quite interesting. Again, in the next video, I'm probably going to be posting a video of the progress of how the students are doing right now. They're almost ready to wrap up, the robot, but they still have a couple smaller things to work on. But I'm gonna tease you with an attachment that you'll see in a future video. It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna tell you what it's for. Not going to tell you what it's for, but I'm going to tell you that in a future video I'll show you what it's for. But for right now, I'm just going to show you more of a teaser and let you guys guess in the comments on what it's for, and I'm kind of curious to see what you guys think it is. So here it is. It's this is what it looks like. It actually works fairly well from what the students have tested, at least. I mean, I've watched them test it on the field, and it seems to be working pretty good. So it seems to be working for what they're trying to use it for. So I'm going to let you guys leave some comments on what you think it's for. and I'm going to, I'll show you in a future video so then you can get an idea. But they're still working on it. It's not finished yet, so they still have some progress to work on it. So here it is. You can, I'll let you guys take some guesses on what that's for. Some tips real quick, right before we close the video. Some tips I have just for some new teams is first, for veteran teams, I really highly recommend that you read the rules thoroughly, specifically the base section of the rules where like your robot has to return to home now. It does not return to base, it returns to home. So make sure you have a very good understanding, because we even got a little bit tripped up on that. In previous years, our robot would return to the what's now known as the launch area, and that's where it had to return. However, this season they switched it, and so our team actually had a couple programs that made our robot return to the launch area because that's what we were used to. And then a couple weeks ago, we forgot, and we realized that you have to return to home, so we had to adjust those programs a little bit. So definitely read those rules thoroughly for veteran teams, because that can trip you up. If you get to a competition, you don't want to have to be modifying the program because you accidentally returned to the wrong place. So definitely highly recommend checking those rules out and making sure you have a good understanding, all the students. The other thing is, I really highly recommend reading the rules very thoroughly on the blocks that you place in different circles on the field. Those are they are a very confusing mission, and I think my assumption is that a lot of teams do not realize they read the rules on the blocks and that they just have a general understanding of it. They didn't read them thoroughly enough to realize the value of these missions. And also they may not have realized the different methods of scoring them. So I'm gonna let you guys, the students, check out those rules a little bit more and read them thoroughly. Maybe later in the season I'll give some more tips, but I want you guys to read those rules first and get a good understanding. The last tip I'm gonna be leaving you guys with is that make sure that you guys come up with a strategy. I know you probably have at this point in the season, but make sure your team has a strategy for your robot, because the problem is you want to be doing well, right? Let's be honest. You want to be doing good on the robot, and you want your robot to be scoring a lot of points, right? So one tip I have for that is make sure that your time is being used good on the field. Make sure that your time management is very good on the field. And with that, I mean, with saying that, I mean that make sure that your robot is maybe not, like when I say that, maybe make sure that your robot, like if you're using maybe 20 extra seconds just to get, a mission, like an add-on to a mission that's 5 extra points or something like that, maybe it's not worth it to use 20 seconds on that, because you could use that 20 seconds on a mission that's worth 30 points or something like that. So, make sure that your time management, your team is considering time management and making the best use of your time. There's a lot of missions on here. There's a lot of different ways to score these missions. So make sure that your team doesn't get caught up in the cool missions, I would put them as, and make sure that your team, uses your time management really well and scores the most points that you guys possibly can, if that's your goal. If your goal is to maybe score your favorite missions or things like that, then that's completely fine also. It's obviously team specific. One thing that I'm going to say for our team at least is that we decided a long time ago, we actually wrote down the difficulty of all the, I had the students actually write down the difficulty of all the missions. So we labeled what we thought the difficulty was of them. We also labeled not only how difficult, but what the point value is. We kind of compared them on a scale, and that's kind of a general idea of how we discussed our strategy based on the difficulty, the point value, and also we weighed how long we think it would take us to accomplish those missions. So, because time is a factor also. So one thing I can say with our team is we're not going to be doing we don't have plans to do the construction tower for our first tournament. Possibly in the later tournament we will probably add it, but right now we don't have any plans to do the construction tower in our first tournament. I think it's called the construction tower. It's that tower that leans down at the far left corner of the board, and you have to flip it vertical. It has to stay on its hinges. So that's what I mean. The reason our team decided not to was that the students talked about it a lot, and what they decided was that although we think we can accomplish this mission, They think that it would probably, once your robot gets there, you have to lift it, you have to drive forward. We labeled the steps of what would probably be required to accomplish this mission, and it would probably take about 10 to 15 seconds. And so we figured that our time was probably best used somewhere else. Now, of course, that's team specific. That's how our team felt about it. If your team's doing the construction tower, don't let us hold you back from that. That's just what our team thought about it. I'm sure that there's going to be methods out there that lift the construction tower very quickly and, really quick and really fast and smooth. But that's just how our team considered the construction tower. So we figured that our time right now is best used on some other missions. And that's why we probably won't be doing it for the first tournament. Again, don't let us hold you back from that. That's just our team analysis on that. All right, so if you want to get some future updates and some insight on how our team is progressing throughout the season, see some of our attachments, some of our robots, and see what that weird teaser attachment does, you'll want to subscribe to my channel because you'll get some notifications when I post a new video, and then you'll be able to get some assistance. So yeah, just leave a comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys next time.